Well, so that happened. You know, it's interesting. It's an interesting journey. I didn't know how attached I had become. And when things started heading in a different direction, I started losing it. Spectacular meltdown. It was a spectacular meltdown I had. It was a profanity-laced tirade that shocked even me. It was not my finest hour, let's put it that way. Now, you know what I'm talking about, right? Okay. You know, we always talk about approaching every situation with, your highest thought and your lowest thought. We have our highest thought and we have our lowest thought. And I would have had to go upstairs a couple of flights to get to my lowest thought. It's true. It was ugly. He was there. I lost it in a spectacular way. I lost my way. I lost touch with the truth. I lost sight of who I was. I lost sight of who I am. I lost sight of spirit temporarily. It was ugly. But let's talk about what I found. Let's talk about what I found. I found my higher thought. I found my highest thought. But it took time. It took my time. And everybody has their own timeline, right? Everybody has their own timeline. So for me, this is how it unfolded. Total spectacular meltdown, the likes of which you've never seen before. And people reached out to me from all over the place, from all over the country. I hear you. I hear you. I understand your pain. I feel your grief. I hear and understand your despair. How can I support you? I'll know the truth for you while you're spinning out of control, which I was. I will pray your wholeness while you are lost. This is our community. This was the reaction that I got in my lowest moment. Can you hear that? People reached out to me and said, I will hold the light for you while you are busy losing it. I was being supported by this greater community we have called New Thought. It's not just this CSL, but all of the CSLs and all of the ministers from all over the place reached out without judgment, right? Without judgment, without shaming me, without saying, you're a minister, you should know better. People reached out in love and in unconditional love. While I was in the middle of the most unskilled behavior, I swear to God, I have exhibited since my 20s. And here's the thing, nobody shamed me for that unskilled behavior. Nobody. They said, I'll stand with you. I will know the truth for you while you're going through this. I will hold you in the love and in the light until you can find your way back. I will be the light for you until you can find your way back. This community broke that cycle. Isn't that awesome? Because here's what was happening. Nobody was judging me while I was busy judging them for judging them, okay? That's really what was going on. And so this community broke that cycle of judgment. We just came together in love, unconditional love, without judgment, to love me back to my wholeness. And don't think for a minute I didn't notice that you guys were doing my job, okay? Because that is our job, right? To know for each other that love and that wholeness. So prayer and meditation and more meditation and still more prayer and still more meditation. And I did find my way. And I did find my way back to center. And I did find my way back to anchoring in the truth. And I did find my way back to oneness. And here's what I want to say about that. There's a certain things that I learned or relearned or remembered that snapshot of me at my absolute worst, that snapshot of me at my most unskilled behavior, that's not who I am. That's not who I am. So when we are tempted to judge somebody by that, by their lowest moment or by their most unskilled behavior, when we are ready to chalk somebody up as that thing by one single event or one outburst, we are bearing false witness against them. Because they're not that. They're not that one unskilled behavior. They're a whole gem, right? We're whole gems. We're multifaceted individuals. None of us can be judged or defined by simply one event. And how many times do we do that? How many times do we do that, particularly in this world, right? There are videos, there are sound bites, there are moments in time, there are isolated bits, there are quotes, right? There are interviews where somebody gets to say one sentence, and we judge them based on that. This guy's an idiot. That lady doesn't know what she's talking about. This one is great. That one's wonderful. We judge, good or bad, we judge based on that one sentence or that one sound bite. And we are so much more than that. Thank God. We're so much more than our lowest thought. We're so much more than our highest thought. Ernest Holmes said this. He said, personality is the use or misuse we make of a unique something back of us that is expressing through us. Within each one of us, there must be a divine pattern of individualization that we but dimly perceive and even more inaccurately interpret. Personality has the possibility far beyond anything that is merely psychological or physiological, for it has the possibility not of becoming a mask to hide reality, but rather an open countenance through which reality becomes expressed. That's lovely. That's who we are. That is the truth of us. That's how we personalize that oneness, which is spirit flowing through us. Something else I learned. I learned a lot this last week. We all grieve in our own way. We all grieve in our own time. And I swear, if anyone tells you to get over it, you just slap them. Well, I mean, no, don't. Don't really. So you can slap them in your mind. Everybody has their time, People tell me I have a long runway. If someone comes to me with an idea and I say, oh yeah, that's a really good idea, let me think about it. I have a long runway. It takes me a while. I think, I pray, I meditate, I think, I pray, I meditate. And it takes a while before I'll make a decision about something. Long runway. Okay. So before I decide something, I have a long runway. Before I'm buying something, I have a long runway. Before acting, I have a long runway. And so I guess when it comes to getting over it, I have a long runway too. So it took me, a little while to get up and running. It may take some of you a little while to get up and running. Some of you may be disappointed in the outcome. Some of you might be delighted by the outcome. Either way, it might get you some, you might need some time. So let's be gentle with each other and understand that everybody is evolving and everybody is walking at their own pace in their own time. We all have our own style and we all have our own pace. So it's about being gentle with each other. Our job, like the way this community responded to me, is to bear witness to the truth, right? That's what we do. We bear witness to the truth. We stand and we hold the light and we support each other in unconditional love. And this is why spiritual community is so important to people. This is why spiritual community, we are pack animals, right? Spiritual community is so important. It is the way we lift each other. We love each other when it's easy, and we love each other when it's difficult. So what else did I learn from this week? We suffer when we are attached to outcome. Oh boy. Oh boy. Shh, quiet, but the Buddhists are right. We suffer when we're attached to outcome. And and it's really interesting too. I didn't realize how attached I was until things started going in a different direction. Wow, I really was, really. Okay. And the interesting part about that attachment is my saying, oh, I know better than universal intelligence. Good luck with that, right? Everybody wants to work for God, but only as an advisor. I was attached to outcome because I thought I knew better, right? I know better than everybody else. Okay. Anybody read that book, 11/22/63? Anybody read Stephen King fans? Nobody's a Stephen King fan? Okay. 11/22/63. It was about a guy who goes back in time to save Kennedy from being assassinated. And he saves Kennedy from being assassinated. It is a disaster for the country. You know, it's a Stephen King book, so everything has to go to hell. It was just awful. It was just awful. But you know, it's kind of like that. We think we know what's best, and you know, whatever. Maybe it isn't. Who knows? We don't know. We have to trust universal intelligence, yes? We have to trust universal intelligence. So, it doesn't mean we don't do what we think is right. We pray and we move our feet. Yes, we pray and we move our feet and we do what we think is right. We work for whatever candidate we choose. We work for whatever city councilman or you know, school board member, right? We do the work, and then we are not attached to outcome. Then we let what happens happen, not attachment. We come to the realization that maybe things are not as bad as we fear or as great as we hope. Maybe someplace along the continuum, things will play out. Seneca said this. He said, "Happy is the man who can endure the highest and the lowest fortune. He who has endured such vicissitudes with equanimity has deprived misfortune of its power." Has deprived misfortune of its power. So, I know we all have our own version of the election season. I know, you know, we had a bunch of people fall down on this side, a bunch of people fell down on this side. Some of us are delighted, some of us are devastated, you know. And we're all working through, right? We're all going to work through at this point. You know, I looked at the numbers. I looked at the numbers last night. So, of eligible voters, a quarter of us voted for the president-elect. A little more than a quarter of us voted for Secretary Clinton. Right? I think she's ahead in the popular vote by 1.8 million votes at this point. So he won the Electoral College, she won the popular vote. That's only, it's like 50% of eligible voters, which means 50% of eligible voters didn't vote at all. What the hell were they thinking? There you go. So, we have all these different sides. They think they're right, they think they're right, they think they're right, they think they're right. Half of them go, oh, okay. You know? And there may have been fear voting on one side, and it may have induced fear on the other side. We're all afraid now, isn't that lovely? You know, except for the half that didn't vote. I don't know what they're doing. We all have emotion around this thing. We all have emotion around it. And here's what we need. We need that safe space to work it out. And that's what spiritual community is. It's the safe space to work these things out. You know? And our work is not being attached to outcome. The work I'm talking about is loving each other. The work I'm talking about is simply loving each other, simply loving each other. It's not about this candidate or that candidate. It's not about winners and losers. It's not about any of that. It is simply about loving each other. It's about knowing the truth for each other. Just like those wonderful people that reached out to me knew. Standing and holding the high watch, you know, as we move through whatever it is we need to move through until we return to that sense of wholeness within us, until we remember that sense of wholeness that we are. And when you are ready, I mean, you might have a long runway like me, when you are ready, then you hold the light for someone else in the community. That's what we do. We stay with this truth until we find ourselves again. And what we know is that love is the only thing that transforms fear. Love is the only thing that transforms fear. You know, I was at the symposium, the New Thought, AG&T, at the end of October, and Reverend Wendy Craig Purcell said this. She said, "We are the spiritual first responders." Don't you love that? We are the spiritual first responders, and I like that. That is who we are. We are to do the work of spirit on earth. This is the love of life. We have to do what we do. And we have to do everything we do with love. And we can choose not to dive into the fear at all. But sometimes we do. Sometimes we do. And when we dive into the fear, we have to remember that where we are, and we have to pass through it. Don't build a house there. Don't erect a tent there. If we're in fear, keep going. Keep going. Get out the other side. Agree not to stay there, but honor yourself and honor the time it takes for you to get out. And if we can't find our way out momentarily, that's what our community is for. That's what spiritual community is for. We are the first responders for ourselves and for each other and for the world. That's what we do. It's not about this candidate or that candidate. It's not about not winning. It's about love. And I will not let fear take that day. I will not let fear take the day. Because we are love, and we know that. This is the truth of us. We are love. We are one. That beautiful prayer Daryl spoke this morning. We are one. We are one. We are one. Remember it. Just remember it. Let it resonate with you. Ernest Holmes in Discover a Richer Life said this: God is one, not two. In this one, we are included. All of us included, not excluded. We are individualized centers of the consciousness of God. Since there is only one final person, God, we all live as personalities in that one person. This means that our personality is the use we are making of divine individuality that has been given to us. The use we are making of the creative nature of God. This is the truth of who we are, and there is only one of us. And we can change the world by standing in our truth. So we must stand for love. We must stand for peace. We must stand for equality. And we must not let anything stop us, right? What does it say in the Bible? No weapon formed against me will prosper. No, babies, we will not let fear have its way with us. That is not going to happen. Fear is a liar. Ernest Holmes said, whatever you identify yourself with, you become like. Whatever you resist until you make it a reality, you will also become like. Therefore, resist not evil, and it will flee from you. Don't fight your fears. See through them. There is nothing in God's world to be afraid of. Powerful stuff. So we will stand. We are standing in a fierce love. We are standing in a fierce love, and we know the truth for each other. I am your safety net, and you are mine. You held me up Tuesday when I was losing it. I'm holding you up. And together we're holding the world in love. It doesn't matter who got elected. Some of us are just thrilled with who got elected, and that's okay. And some of us are devastated by who got elected, and that's okay. Truth is the truth. Love is the truth between all souls everywhere. So we come from there, don't we? We come from that loving place. I will stand in fierce love, and I will support every single one of us. And you will stand in that same fierce love, yes? And you will support every single one of us. I am your safety net, and you are mine. And that's what these pins are for. That's what these pins are for. I am your safety. I am your safety. That's what the pins are for. It says, I am a safe space. You can come to me in all your unskilled behavior, just like I exhibited all of mine. You can come to me in all of your unskilled behavior, and I will stand with you, and I will hold the light for you. It says, I don't know who wrote it, but it says, if you wear a hijab, I will sit with you on the train. I got more of them. Anybody want to hand them out? If you are transgender, I will go to the restroom with you. That's what these pins mean. If you are a person of color, I will stop and I will stand next to you while the cop pulls you over. If you are differently abled, I will hand you my megaphone so we can hear what you say. If you are an immigrant, I will help you find resources. If you are a survivor, I will believe you. If you are a refugee, I will make you feel welcome. If you are a veteran, I will fight right alongside of you. If you are part of the LGBTQIA community, I will stand in alignment with your equality. If you are a woman, I will see that you get home safely. If you are tired, me too. Me too. If you need a hug, I've got an infinite supply. If you need me, I'll be with you. Please be with me also. And I know you have, and I know you are. We have a great work to do. We have the work of healing. We have the work of healing. We have the work of uniting. And we'll do it in our own way, in our own time. Each one of us will get back up there and begin doing the work. Because God is all there is, and love is all there is, and love is our life. It is our life. We have to stand in the truth of that. We have to stand in the truth of that. Nothing else matters. Thank you for holding me up when I forgot who I was. And I swear I do the same for you. I will do the same for you, and together we will transform this world. I wanted to finish by reading you what Ernest Holmes said. Stay with the one and never deviate from it. Never leave it for a moment. Nothing else can equal this attitude. To desert the truth in our hour of need is to prove we do not know the truth. When things look the worst, that is the supreme moment to demonstrate to ourselves that there are no obstructions to the operation of truth. When things look the worst is the best time to work, the most satisfying time. The person who can throw himself in a complete abandon into that limitless sea of receptivity, having cut loose from all apparent moorings, is the one who will always receive the greatest reward. See, it's not about who won, and it's not about who lost. It's about love. We are here to be a community, to come together in love, to know the truth for ourselves and each other. And that's what it's about. We stand in truth. We stand in love. We know our oneness. We know our wholeness. And only good can unfold from that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.